Parker played parts of 8 seasons in the NBA, but his career was marred by injuries. He's played the last 2 seasons with FC Barcelona, recently opened up in an interview with Alex Molina of Eurohoops on his perspective, saying, quote, "People say I'm a tragic story. What's tragic about me? I made millions of dollars. I fed my family. I brought my family out of the ghetto." Went on to say, "My success is that I get up and I can be with my loved ones. I haven't even given any importance to my draft position. I fulfilled my dream. That's all that matters to me." So when you hear this, do you like Jabari Parker's perspective on his life and his career?
Yeah, that's all that fucking matters at the end of the day. Other people's opinions and shit don't matter. Like he set a goal to play in the NBA. His goal, he didn't go out and try to get hurt while being in the NBA. So he could accomplish his goal, right? That was his goal as a child, to make it to the NBA. And tragic story, no, injuries are a part of sports, unfortunately, man. It went like he got hurt and didn't play again. No, he injured himself, he fought out, he bounced back, and he's fucking hooping again. And people think because he's not in the NBA that he's sad. No, he want to hoop. He want to play. Somebody's paying him good money right now to still play basketball. So, that's his perspective, right? Like that's his life, that's his real, that's his truth. So yeah, people say the same. Okay, can you number one pick? Worst number one pick? Yeah, cool. Still the number one pick. Still bought my mom a house. Still bought my mom a car. Still did cool. So yes, I'm with him.
I imagine it's not other number one picks saying that. It's usually people who were not picked
number one
for anything in their life.
And they ain't been picked for shit, right?
That have those types of opinions.
Well, when they ain't picked the motherfucker for the teacher to wipe the chalkboard at the end of the day, nigga. So,
which is
that's a big deal when you're in elementary.
Big deal when you're in elementary
school.
school.
Talking about this type of shit because even though he's not an underdog, he's a prodigy, he's a favorite.
Yeah.
And it didn't pan out. And you got to think about the other 5,000 guys that's ever played in this league that didn't turn out to be Hall of Famers and played the game and left the game, right? I think the biggest problem in our sport now is this becomes a tragic story only because we're not expected to have anything outside of this life.
So there, as you see, we're going to keep reviewing this, but this brought up a very unique conversation for me. So just the other day, it was me and a couple of guys. We were just actually out, and we were actually talking about this. And one of my guys actually made a comment about that they feel that, Black athletes are treated like cattle in like sports and things of that nature. And with that being said, I totally disagree with that. And my stance on it was that we are the only race, meaning Black people and Black athletes. We are the only ones who go into a sport thinking that that is our only ticket out. And what I mean by that is we like to go and we won and done it in college. We go to college and in football, and we're getting it now. They're getting the NIL money, and they're buying fast cars, and they care about what chain they're wearing, but none of them are focusing on their education or what they're going to do if football or basketball or baseball or whatever sport you choose to play doesn't pan out. And we got into a very good conversation about this because they were like, "No, man, you're wrong." I said, "No." I said, if you go and listen to like these white kids, and especially white men, they know if they're going to make it they know what their ceiling is. Let me just put it that way. They know what their ceiling is, and they stay there. Like they understand that, hey, I might not get drafted to the NBA. I might need to start looking at overseas basketball, or I might not go to the NFL. I need to start looking at a different career path. I need to make sure I have a good major in college. We don't look at things that way. And the reason why we don't look at things that way is it's a few different things, right? One is, as African-American athletes, we feel like we have to carry our community, our parents, our family, our friends on our backs. We feel like we're doing everything for everybody instead of focusing on what's best for yourself first. It's a survival remorse type thing. I made it out the hood. I need to do this. I need to do that. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I'm going to play a little bit more of this and it's going to talk about it, because Rashad McCants actually makes some great points about there's so much more in the world to see. There's so much more than athletes, but we never allow a person to be more than an athlete because we have so much pressure or so much expectations put on these individuals. You guys got to think about the percentage of the people who make it from college to the NFL or college to the NBA. It is very low. And if you could continue to see nepotism like you've seen with Bronny James, the percentages are going to get even lower. Because even if you have talent, you might get knocked out by somebody who, just because their dad's a great star or money or things of that nature, you might still get knocked out of your spot because of things of that nature. And it's very unique to me that we always blame society and systems and things of that nature. Do those things play a role? Yes, they do. But those things shouldn't stop you from being the best version of yourself. Just because you're great, and that's another thing we have a problem with. We're starting to label these people as superstars and phenoms in the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Man, we don't know what these people are going to pan out to be. There were so many stars that should have had longer careers. Sebastian Telfair. You had people like Jabari Parker, who they're talking about now. Rashad McCants could have had a longer career. Excuse me. It's people who were considered better than LeBron that didn't even make it to college because of things that happened in high school. I think the gentleman's in jail. I got to get his name, but I think he's in jail. With that being said, I wanted to keep this conversation focused on that. We have to start empowering our community to want to do more than what they're doing. It's okay to dibble and dabble in other things. Just because you're 100% focused on basketball or football, don't forget, find other passions too. Find out what you like to do. Are you a hands-on learner? Or are you somebody who want to pick up a trade? Or, hey, they already talking about, I'm going to get drafted. How do I want to invest that money for the long term? Because Rashad McCants is going to start talking about a lot of these people who they go broke. It's people who have made it in the league and they still go broke. Jaylen Brown did a great excerpt of this on $1 million worth of game. It's so much out there, and I'm so tired of us using these excuses of a system. This system only exists because we keep feeding it into the system. I understand people worth. I understand people trying to get the money when it's hot. But sometimes we should really be focusing our young men on, hey, maybe you want to go to summer school in the summer while you're working out at the school. Go get extra courses, extra classes, so you can graduate in your 3rd year of college or your 2nd year. You can have so many credits in your head. Or we should really encourage these young men to get their degrees even when they get into the NBA or the NFL. That used to be a very, very big thing in the past. If you guys go back to people like Carmelo Anthony, there was other players. There was a list of players who went back to school from the NBA and NFL and got their degree because it was something they promised their parents. And I think that's what we need to get back to. Everybody wants to blame that they're coming from single father homes and things of this nature. It's not any of that. The thing that's wrong with our community is we have unrealistic expectations. Just like you're dribbling your ball all day, there's another boy in Minnesota or California or Wyoming. There's somebody else doing even more work than you are. We all know that. That's in any category of life. Just like I'm creating this content right now, it's somebody creating 10 times the number of content that I'm doing. It's people who are living and dying and putting all their eggs in that one basket. And we have to understand, in the Black society, in the Black community, we got to stop leading our kids to the wrong well, and understand that there's more to life than that ball that you're putting through a hoop, that the ball that you're catching. I'm not taking away from anybody's talent because I love watching the sport. With that being said, when people become not successful or they don't reach their peak, they should not go broke when they just made 20, 30 million. They should not be without a network when they go to college and don't make it to the pros. They need to start taking notes. I don't know if you guys remember the gentleman who created Under Armour out there in Baltimore. He talked about his story. He played football. When he seen that he wasn't going to make it to the next level, the first thing he thought about, hey man, I wish when we were practicing, we were able to have clothes that helped us, shield us from the sun, shield us from the cold. He started thinking from a business acumen when he knew that he had already reached his pinnacle. And the thing about us African Americans, we feel like there's only one way out, and there's multiple ways out. And I hope that we truly encourage people to start looking at those ways
of sports. So when sports is our world and everything we depend on is sports related, if you do anything outside of the sport, you're either looked at as, you expanding, or you just couldn't cut it. You got blackballed. You're a bust. You're this, you're that. And I think with him, seeing the rest of the world outside of the NBA, seeing how the world operates, he's doing a lot of things I did. You're being more culturally sound, understanding that the world has more to offer to you beyond the actual sport. So I think a lot of guys get hung up on what you did in playing basketball and not looking at what's left out there to actually do. You may not love anything else like you love the sport, but you never tried anything else either like you tried the sport. So you put a lot of energy into other things, and you'll find out that there's things you like that's just like the sport. It's just as good, just as fulfilling, and you can make a lot of money doing it and all these things. And I think that's the big part about former players that didn't pan out to be whatever. We sit and we wallow in that grief of expectation and shame and what people want from us. And we just, like he said, and I fucking had a blast. I played 4 years in the league. I would never change that. You know how much work I got?
But this is what I was going to say about you in general.
I would never change that. You know how much work I got to see just being in the league for 4 years?
Because if you wouldn't have been there, you would have never.
Never. And if I would have took it more serious in the standpoint of setting my goals and saying I'm going to engulf my life around this, I would have went way further. It wouldn't have been about the work. It would have been about all these other things. But for me, it was put that hat on. It was, man, I told my mom I'm going to make it. I didn't say anything beyond this. So now I'm living beyond this, and I love what I can see.
I'm just looking at the draft picture of you and your sister.
And then, so his point, right?
So as you see, Rashad McCants made a great point there. He made it to the NBA, but didn't understand how to take what he was receiving and build around it, and not just put on the hard hat to go play ball every day and try to outwork everybody. He should have been using his stardom and his talent to put him into other rooms instead of focusing solely on basketball. And that's one of the things that we have to teach our young kids, especially African American. I'm speaking to Black people because I'm Black. I can't speak for the white community. It doesn't make sense, right? But for me, when I hear Black people use excuses like we're treated like cattle or we're treated a certain way in sports, we have to start to understand that we're treated the way that we allow to be treated. Because if you want to keep following the herd, that's what they're going to do with you guys. If you keep herding yourself into one direction, knowing that this is all I want to do, instead of saying, hey, basketball, I'm a great basketball player. If this doesn't work out, though, I need to be realistic. And what do I want to look for moving forward? Hey, I made it through that first door of the NBA. I got my foot in the door. Hey, maybe I need to do an internship with Nike or internship with Gatorade, or let me use my power that I'm currently sitting in to get to where I need to be in the future. And that's what Rashad McCants was stating, that, man, if I would have just used everything that was around me, all the things I seen, just like Shaq, right? People make fun of Shaq because he had Shaq shoes in Walmart and Shaq, but Shaq got Shaq shoes. He's with I think Reebok now, or whatever. He bought the Shaq thing. Yeah, he has the Papa John's. He has the Big Chicken. Like, he has all these things because he knew what type of basketball player he was, but he also knew what he needed to do in the future. Michael Strahan started doing suits and investing in the clothing world. Like Dion, shades, shoes, prime time, like doing everything in their power to not just be a millionaire from what their sports, what they do physically, but what they can do mentally. And we have to really encourage this in the Black community. If you feel a certain way about how things are going in the college scheme of things, or how athletes are being used, we need to start really sitting down and saying, hey, how about creating programs so that they can do better? Give them a book to read. Because a lot of people too give the excuse that, well, they don't get the same chances. And hey, it's too much out there now. You can Google everything. Everything's at the tip of your hand. Chat GPT, anything that you want to learn, you can learn today. And you got the people before you, especially today. You got Shaqs, Rest in peace, Kobe, LeBron. You got Stephen Curry. You got Kawhi Leonard. You got these people who are going different. Dwayne Wade built his own shoe brand. Who is it? Kyrie Irving went with a smaller brand after Nike let him go. He learned his lesson. You see what I mean? But we have to really encourage our young Black men and women to take your talent, but don't only focus on your talent. See what doors that talent has opened. Because when you're talented, it opens up more doors. If you guys really follow Well Off Media with Bucky and Shador and Shiloh, if you notice when they first got to Colorado, they were going to all these mom and pop places, getting trucks, cars, doing car shows. You have to get yourself immersed in your community so that you can do more for your community when you get out. You can make a 5-year career seem like you've been in the league for 50 years money-wise, and we can do it. So I just wanted to talk about this because it was a very good discussion. I don't want to call it a debate or argument, but it was a very good discussion between me and my boys that, hey, we got to stop using this victim mentality just because of our race. We have to learn how to make ourselves more profitable. And again, if nobody hasn't told you, God loves you, which is most importantly, I love you. You're beautiful, and your boys out. Let go.